Hello and welcome to youthsaga.com. Today our guest is Alta S. Morvin. She is a South African writer, editor, and publisher of an international poetry magazine called Poet Unlimited. Hello, Alta. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Abhijit. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, and it's been a long time we had connected with each other to come up with for an interview to talk about your achievements and what's going on in your professional life. So
Thank you so
my
much.
question, yeah. So my first question will be that tell us about your poetry magazine, which managing you are managing very well as a editor, as a publisher of it. So tell us about the your magazine story, how it started, how you come up with the idea.
Okay, so it's been a dream for many, many years. And I don't want to say how many because then people are going to know how old I am. But it's been many, many years. And I've published many books, I've written many words. And with every book that I've published, it felt good. It's been rewarding, but there was something lacking, and every single time it wasn't giving me quite what my soul needed, because this is all about my soul for me. And it was right in the beginning of lockdown when I was interviewed by Shweta Rajeshwari from India on her podcast.
Yeah,
And she was talking to writers and artists all around the world about what they're doing to keep themselves busy. And I said, well, I'm thinking of starting a poetry magazine. And
yeah.
she inspired me. I honor her in my writing now. It's my new book that I'm going to release. This is me. She'll feature in that. And I wrote a poem for her podcast. It was called On This Day, about the lockdown, about how people were feeling, the anxieties and the stress that we were all going through. So with every month, I was producing a new magazine, and I'm about to publish the sixth magazine, and it has grown from six writers to, I think this month I'm ending at about 30 writers from all over the world, from India, from Jamaica, California, London, Manchester, I call it Pakistan. There's
Yeah,
like 80% of Pakistan in the magazine this month, from Turkey.
that's nice.
So this month the magazine is all about Turkey and honoring somebody very, very special. And it's really about taking young writers, old writers, any writers from anywhere in the world, from rural areas, from areas that we know the names of, to say, let me honor your work. Let me hold your hand, give you a page, and let the world read you. I promote their work on my podcast as well. They are on my website, and I have seen the change from the writers that's been with me from it's literally they sit down because there's nothing else for them to do right now. They sit down and they write something specifically because by the 25th I want it. And the last week is so exciting because I hear more from them because they're so scared that I'm not going to give them their complimentary copy. Maybe I'll forget, but they each get a complimentary copy every month. And it's the most rewarding thing for me to know. And I might tear up, excuse me, but it's the most rewarding thing for me to know that I have made someone's day a little brighter by having their name seen in print. And there's a few writers which I want to mention um, that along the way has been a very important part of this. Um, if I have to name one person immediately, for me it's Nasreen Variawa. Okay, she is also from Turkey, ex-South African, and she's an author coach, and she has honestly at times she has guided me through some things, and I will never reject anything like that. I want to hear some feedback. So she's really one of my mentors. And then a very special lady who features on the cover of the magazine this month as well, Anisha Gilani. And she's in Hong Kong at the moment, but she's from Toronto. And she wrote a book called Sacred. It's about grief. It's about how we cope with grief. And she's offering that book free to the world.
Okay.
And I interact with her regularly, but we have a one day a week where we talk. And honestly, after this is published, the magazine is published, I'm going to focus on promoting her book, and I will be sending out her book to whoever wants to read it. I've read it, I've cried where I couldn't even see to be able to write back to her. It's the most phenomenal thing ever. And then Alana, she wrote a book called Heartbeats. The same scenario, she's also giving a book away for free. So I'm doing like a author spotlight for them, but there's more to come about them. And I'm going to be collaborating with one of those ladies very soon on a book. This is all about rewards, soul rewards, not money. And like I said to you as well, if I've sold 10 magazines, it's a lot. I've given away thousands, and that's what it's been about for me all along. And I just want to thank you for giving me the platform for a change to be able to say that show up for your dreams. Even if it takes 16 years, it will come. It will come.
I mean, just before the interview, we have a candid discussions about your journey of how you dreamed about starting your own magazine and publish it. And you just have a wonderful, you just thought with us. You shared the story. Can you just tell us how you dream about and how you started think about it and make it happen? What is your story
the process,
to make it happen?
Okay, so first of all, I think through the years I've connected with a lot of writers. So there was a few that I knew that would be in the first issue. It was all about creating a first issue, and it's a lot of work. If you look at the first issue compared to now, I have grown as well as a lot as well, through the designing and through knowing what goes where. And now when someone is reading it, they can click on a link and it's working, where before it was this wobbly, like people were like, what's this gibberish, So I've learned a lot as well, and it's more presentable now. But it's all about the process of it is making sure that each writer's page is perfect, and allowing them to not feel that they're going to be judged for whatever they're placing. Yes, I do curate. I won't allow anything in that is going to cause controversy or anything like that. But to a certain extent, I will allow it. And so from day 1 to day 29 or 30 of every month, it is literally sitting down every night after my normal day job until 12, sometimes later, and editing and submitting. And I have 1,677 emails that I'm still getting through from the last month. So I'll get there. I need a PA. So if anybody wants to be my PA, like I'm taking numbers now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's really cool that you just connected with a lot of people and convinced them that there's a platform you have and there's a publish on this. It's really kind of have a leadership feel that you have a leader. You are a leader that you are motivate people to live the life they really want to do. They want to express themselves through poetry and all this. It's really a recommendable job you're doing. So it's amazing. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think what's also important is that there's about 5 of the writers that's been with me. I'm helping them publish their first book as well. because they don't have the means for that. And so in between what I do, I'm looking at their manuscripts and putting it all together and helping them to publish their first book, because I want them to have that dream.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they can't pay me $1, it doesn't matter. Just get published, you know. One day when you're on New York Times bestseller, just remember little old me, because I'll be about 80 then, you know. So
that's really the way you're working and your passion towards your work you love to, and that's really impressed me a lot. So apart from your publishing, you also write books. So tell us about the books you have written down. Tell about your book.
Okay, so there was my very first book was Tears from My Soul. I have to look because there's been so many, I forget what the babies are called. Tears from My Soul was my first book, and it was really just very raw. It was after the loss of a partner, and Dear Heaven was a follow-up on that. So every book was a chapter of my life as I dealt with grief and hurt and pain and love loss. And you know, men can be terrible sometimes, and women too, but you know, we get terribly hurt, and as a writer, you know, we'll always write about it, good or bad, we'll write about it. And then the final chapter of all of that, or that stage in my life, was Evidence of Pain, which was my first paperback. And it kind of wrapped up all the emotion, and I could archive it. So what followed after that was haiku, and I had it translated into Japanese, and it was a beautiful book to write. And I've grown from the very normal, you know, the haiku 575 symbol, to try haiku and tanka. So I've grown within haiku as well. So maybe in years to come, I'll bring out some more haiku. But definitely, out of everything I've written, I think it's 11 books, and no, I can't remember. Don't ask me for a number, but anyway, and haiku has probably been my favorite to write, and it just tells so much in a few lines, you know. And I've inspired some people as well to write. Some of the writers, they bounce their haikus off me, and I'm collaborating with Shahid Abbas on a haiku book. It will probably be available towards December. So he's busy writing in Pakistan, because we're going to collaborate and put our haikus together, all new material, and that should be out before December, hopefully. And and then I have a new book that's coming out called This Is Me. I've been saying it's coming out for about a month now, and it's still coming out. So I'm not finished with it. There's a lot that's going to go into, and it's really about my growth as a writer, my growth with Poets Unlimited, and with all these beautiful, amazing souls that I've met. It's a collaboration with each one of them. So every poem will be a collaboration with each one of them, because it's not about me. Although it says this is me, it's actually about all of them makes me. I can't be who I am if I do not interact with all these beautiful souls. They feed my soul. They, you know, there's some of them that will say, also, just take a breather. You're going to burn out. Just take a breather. So they literally stop me and say, have a cup of tea and just take the night off. And then I'll say, yes, okay. And then an hour later, I'm not back at the computer and I'm not busy working again. I've taken a breather, you know. So yeah, it's honoring them. That book is to honor them.
So where can our viewers can have your book online? Where can I find it?
Okay, obviously I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Alta H Mabon, or Poets Unlimited. On Facebook, Alta H Mabon, and then my website is www.altahmabon.co.za. That's probably the easiest, you know, but I think anywhere, if you go Poets Unlimited, they'll find me. They'll find you, they'll find me as well, so it's okay.
So how can I find a book on your website? You can find a book.
I have them on my website, and it's on Amazon as well. It's on
Okay.
Smashwords. It's yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think
All
the easiest is I want to be published in India one day, because I'm going to visit Shweta one of the days when lockdown's over. We're going to
okay.
start a India fund, and yeah, I need to go and visit her. We have to visit, so I want to be published in India as well one day.
Yeah, sure. So we'll be really welcome you to visit and publish and grow here. So if people like you on your writing. So well, I just came to know that you do the podcast in the website. What was that? It's Spotify.com and
Yes,
Anchor.com. So
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you read your poetry on there and you express your writings, your creativity on the form of audio and video. So that's a wonderful medium that apart from you writing on the paper, you just express your voice and express your emotions
Yes.
to videos to the audience. So tell us, can I give a demo that how you do start interact with your people? So I know
When
it's
I do a
interesting.
podcast, when I do a podcast. Okay, so I always start with having a chat beforehand because they're always very nervous, So I just like calm them down a little bit, and we have a cup of tea together, virtually. And I started with Welcome to Poets Unlimited, a platform where writers from all over the world come together to create something extraordinary. And then good
Yeah,
afternoon, good evening. This is.
yeah,
So it also gives that person who's going to be interviewed 20 seconds to just take a deep breath. That's really why I do that because we all need a deep breath.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, because few people are really little nervous because starting to express themselves in front of the camera and talk to the a lot of people, watching you
Yeah,
worldwide. And so
it's
to
very
hold the
vulnerable. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yes, yes.
yes. I
So
have some of the Pakistani writers that are busy working on Google pronunciations because they don't want to be on my podcast if they can't say the words that they want to say correctly. So they literally studying to be pronunciation and I'm like, don't worry about it. It's okay because we'll put it in India and those people will understand. They need to read you first. But
yeah,
yeah, they're beautiful people. Yes.
it happens everywhere that the people make fun out of your others accent on English. It happens everywhere, and I just it's not a matter of concern. We have to enjoy the happiness and enjoy people how deal it. You should not take it so serious. Why so serious? Like the Batman
Exactly. And you
movies
know
that
what?
are
I mean, you could be thinking my accent is funny. So we
yeah,
are who we are. God made us this way, and this is the way we're going to stay. You can't pretend to be something that you are not. So I want someone to be in the authenticity and just
yeah,
let it show that this is
yeah,
me. I'm showing up for my dream, you
yeah.
know?
Because English is not the first language for most of the people. It's international language to understood, but it's not the first language. It's not the mother tongue to most of the continent. So we learned it because it's an international language. We communicate with each other. Because of the
We can
English, we are talking
communicate.
with each other.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because
yes.
of the English, we
What
are doing the interview because
language
I
do
can
you
understand.
speak?
Yeah,
Do you speak Hindi?
yeah, yeah. I do. I do.
Okay, okay.
I
So I must
know
say namaste
because
to you. I must
Namaste,
say namaste. Yeah.
Namaste, Alta, South Africa. And even though
Yeah.
we have in India we have a Indian Premier League for the cricket, and I know the South Africans also like cricket so much. And in India, just there is conducted IPL, which connect all the players of worldwide and playing as a team with each other. So it's really connecting people to sports fans with it. So it's really connecting a lot of people. So as we
Yeah.
discuss, as we deal with the language in the writing, so it differ people to people because as English is not the first language for most of the people, and it's a matter of communicating each other. That's okay. It's not
Yeah. And
ashamed about that.
respecting each other. You know, for
Yes.
me, it comes from respect and kindness.
Yeah.
If you can't understand somebody, what I normally do, because some of them speak very fast, so what I do is I just tell them to just speak a little bit slower, because then you pick up the words. You know, it is difficult to understand them, but if you're willing to give them the chance to express themselves in their way of talking, they also are, they're easing into it, they are more comfortable, and the more you're allowing them to speak, the more they want to speak. But if someone is going
Yeah.
to laugh at them because of their pronunciation, they're never going to do it again.
Yeah, that's true. And living in a society, we have to deal with all kind of people. So that is the courage
Yeah.
we have to hold with us. That we have to
Yes.
move on. Yeah. Moving forward, we have to deal with that. If you're not worried about that, just move on. Wow, you just this is all your professional story we discussed. So now we'll talk about your beautiful country, South Africa. You just covered with all sides the ocean.
Okay. Well, I think when you think of South Africa, everyone thinks of wildlife and lions, and it really is
Yeah,
like that. But I don't have them in my backyard. I have normal
yeah,
pets in my backyard. But we have a beautiful country. So I'm not in coastal. I'm far from the beach. Although I lived in what we call KwaZulu Natal, Durban, many years, and we have mountains this side where I'm at, and lots of trees and um, just nature. You know, nature. There's
yeah,
not much that's where the side where I'm on is very business. It's very fast moving. You go coastal, it's like everything is like, hey, is it cool? You know, they like go to work at 9 o'clock and finish at 3. We work like all the time, you know, we don't stop. But South Africa is really beautiful. Yes, our crime rate has increased over the years. There's a lot of people here with just poverty. You get that all over the world. Um,
yeah.
but there's some of the South African writers that I had in last month's issue, or sorry, this current month's issue. They win awards, but nobody sees them. So I'm also helping one of them to also just bring out his first book, and they're in the rural areas. They don't have computers, they don't have the internet, you know, so they need someone to just hold their hand and just say, let me help you. You know, it takes
Yeah,
nothing to just be a little bit kind, you know. And one day when I'm old and I can't walk, or maybe, you know, I don't know what the plan is with my life when I'm old. So I'm hoping that one day all my kindness would have paid off and someone will be kind to me, you know. And I think we need to be kind to our elders now, you know, not because we feel guilty, but it's the right thing to do, but to be kind to everybody. The whole world needs
yeah,
kindness.
yeah. Because that we are all have to deal with aging issues. We are going to get older, and we don't have that much energy with us to operate. You know, life. So it's a part of life. It's a journey of life. So that.
Yes,
So
and we have to do
I
good.
just.
We have to do good.
Yeah. So as you told that the South Africa is full of nature and the greenery, and because it's near to equator,
Yeah,
The
we
equator is
going
not.
we're going from winter
Yep.
into autumn now, spring, and spring, and our winters are extremely cold.
Oh,
If and the summers are dreadfully hot, like India, like Pakistan. It's
yeah,
very
India.
it's scorching hot. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we happy to be at the end of winter now. It's been a really cold one, very cold one. So we're going into the summer rainy season now. Um, but you know, it gives me hope, because I often reflect when I see peach blossoms or a new flower, you know, or the grass. The one patch is still a bit brown, and then there's some green growing over. To me, that is it's growth, but it's hope. We're moving forward, and I know that I see things differently sometimes, most people, but when you constantly look at something and like I'm busy looking at a vase of roses and there's one petal that's dry, it also reminds me of something symbolic, so it's to see the beauty in anything.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Good and bad is the two side of a coin. So you can't ignore the bad thing in the society that happens everywhere. So we have to full up with more positivity in the society that we should be neutralizing the bad part to reduce to some extent. So this is
Yeah.
all our responsibility as a citizen of the society. That we have to take the initiative and do as much good and spread as much love and goodness to the society. As we are illiterate, I mean, we have to help the illiterate people as we are literate and have some degrees in our life, and we have the responsibility to steward the society.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's really impressive that you have that the thoughts in your mind. You're thinking about your people. It's amazing. This I just feel that you're a little serious about the same thing. So I will ask you about your next projects and future plans you're going to have. You already published six. This is your sixth publication going to publish?
Yes, in 2 days' time, it will be published,
Yeah.
and I will send you the first copy. How's that? I'll
Oh,
send you
that's
the
the
first
honor.
copy. Yes,
Thank you very much.
and then I'll make everyone else wait for like 2 days.
So we I just
I'm
interview
kidding.
you.
I'm kidding.
I just interview before your sixth publication. So that's a good moment that I just get the opportunity to interview you before your sixth publications after your hard work, along your entire month. You did the hard
Yes.
work and finally it's going to publish.
Yes, I know. I think I do. Someone's actually asked me, who does all your marketing? And I'm like, I do. Okay, so who does all your little posts that you do on your? I do. Like I'm one person, but I make time for it. Sometimes I don't know how, but it's not work. It's my dream. So I show up for my dream. You have to.
Yeah, that's true because that reminds me my journey as an entrepreneur since 2 years. When I started, I just started like a single person doing all the work in the office, just like do the sweeping to managing to doing work, all kind of doing the coding, do the marketing, all the kind of stuff.
Yes.
That happens.
So you know exactly the sleepless nights I have.
Yeah, that's why I'm just, getting connected with your, the journey of doing something important in your life. So I can understand this because I already gone through this
Yes.
since
Yes.
2 3 years.
Yes.
I wish a good luck for all your upcoming projects.
Thank
You
you.
just get connected all over the world. Finally, I want to ask you something. That what is your message to the society and to the young people who want to come to the writing business? So tell us from your experience.
Okay, so when I published my first book, it was in 2018, was my first book. And it was after many, many years of writing. When I brought out my first book, my family didn't even know that I was writing. My children did. I was like, listen to this, and like they got tired of listening to mom's poetry and they had to say it was good, But anyway, and I don't think that I quite knew how to do it. I was too scared to fail. I was too scared. And the one day, I just decided, today I'm going to design a cover. Didn't know what software to use. I had no clue. But I knew that I had a message. I knew that I had something to say. And it became something that I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went onto Amazon and I self-published. It was frustrating, to say the least, because they have all these rules, and you don't read because you're so excited. You just want to see that it's published. You don't read, and then you make mistakes. And I think it was when I published Evidence of Pain, which was a paperback. I had 80 pages, and I thought, wow, I've done it. I'm going to have a paperback. And I put the manuscript in, and then they said, no, reject 7 times over a weekend. And I said to my son, I said, I'm giving up. I can't do this. I was in tears. And he looked over my shoulder. He clicked one button, and he said, you forgot to do page breaks. Okay. Yay! So it accepted it. 2 days later, they said, rejected because it must be minimum 100 pages. I was like, oh, okay, now 20 more pages. So these are the things I didn't know. And I had to go and be frustrated and learn and research of what to do, how to do it, watch videos. It is frustrating. I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's frustrating. The amounts of effort you have to put into it, it's hard work.
Yeah.
But the moment you have one person say, this is beautiful, your job's done. Your dreams are alive. I was very fortunate enough in 2018, my book, Evidence of Pain, won an award for the best poetry collection in the UK. It was for a podcast by Andy N, and he owns Spoken Label. It's a poetry podcast where he reviews books, and it was so unexpected, but I literally did a happy dance. Look, I couldn't contain myself, and Andy N submits to my magazine every single month. He is phenomenal. He does what I do. He does for writers with his podcasts. What you do, in a different way. We all contribute to these writers that's going to write when we onto our next phase of our lives, And I think if I have to say a one line, if you had to say to me 10 seconds, you have something to say to them. Show up for your dreams. Get in touch with somebody who's able to be helpful, kind enough to understand that you too have a dream.
Yeah.
And that's
so. These are the golden words from Altaez Mobeen today to the new aspirant writer. So don't give up your dream. You just follow that.
Just show up for your dream. Show up.
Yeah.
I had dreams. I'm here.
That's really amazing, and I can say you're a wonderful guest in my show. I'm really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you. So I'm wishing you very good luck, and all your dreams come true. This is my wishes, and good luck for your future. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.